We're back.
I feel like it's been a while.
It has been a while. I feel like it was like an extra while because we missed a week. So, but we're going to give you more bang for your buck tonight.
Ooh.
It's going to be like a 2-for-1 deal. Yeah.
Love it.
So this is Booze and Glues.
I'm Jessie.
I'm Tab. Brad's very quietly opening up our newest
The most delicious thing I've ever eaten.
favorite
I eat it.
canned wine. Shout out to whatever random person I don't even know that I saw on Instagram with peach wine from Trader Joe's, which is the best store. I love it so much.
It is really good.
I bought all the snacks in there today for my people at work because it was a rough day. Yeah, peach sparkly wine in a can. I did have like a tiny moment of acute self-awareness where I was like, I'm turning into my mother. Because, you know, in the like 80s, remember wine coolers?
Yes, B&J's.
And I was like, dude, this is pretty much a wine cooler in a can.
And cooler for hipsters.
Good on you, Trader Joe's.
It kind of tastes like, what is that, Sparks?
Peach deliciousness. What is Sparks?
Well, I thought it was delicious back for high school, but when my uncle went to go try to buy it for me, the cashier told him that was like hobo wine. So I don't know if it was just my, high school
You're
taste
just a
buds.
hobo at heart.
Yeah.
That's Brad, our resident hobo.
By the way, can I crash with one of you guys again?
You can sleep in the backyard.
Sweet. Build a fort.
So yeah, we got a couple of crafts going tonight. Jessie is making the most adorable collage out of all of her wedding cards. She punched them with a little hexagon punch.
Yeah.
Punched out like the cute little bits off the fronts of the cards, and now she's making a little art piece for her wall.
And I wasn't going to keep the cards, like,
Right.
that people, said. And then I was feeling guilty about that.
Yeah, you need to have just like a wedding keepsake box, and just all that stuff goes on there.
I made it like a little book. Like, I punched, holes in the
Oh, that's a good
back
idea.
side of the cards, and I made a little book.
That's a little more accessible.
Yeah.
A little like photo album, but with cards in it. That's
Yeah.
cute.
So,
I
don't
like
know.
that.
I mean, some people said, really nice things in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna say something nice in your card when I get it to you.
Some people, every once in a while, there's just, congrats, love y'all. But literally, people, wrote us some of the nicest things. I was, looking back through them, because we kind of read them quickly, right?
Right.
When we were, opening the presents and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was, looking back through them, and, people wrote, whole paragraphs.
This is really touching.
I know, I was like, people like us, Blake.
I'm gonna make you cry.
I hope so.
I'm just gonna save it for your first anniversary year. So I bought Jessie a wedding card, and I just remembered that I did have one, but I did not give it to her. So it is not going to be on the collage, unless later I just sneak it in.
We could do that. I'm sure we'll find a spot for it.
It is super cute, and the fun thing about this idea is when I was looking for punches and stuff online, I saw a whole bunch of them.
Oh, sorry, I didn't even realize.
You could make them for your bridal shower, for your baby shower, for when your baby's born.
Yeah.
Other times when you get cards. Dude, you could make one for every Christmas. And then pretty soon your whole house will be full of Christmas.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that.
Oh, what if you just make a scrapbook, though? Of just all your Christmas cards. Because I feel guilty throwing my Christmas cards away.
I
which
know,
is
I do too.
why I have
think
billions of them.
Yeah, I think I finally actually threw away last year's.
I usually...
Luckily with Christmas cards, people aren't as, sentimental.
Usually, yeah. But then there's the ones that are photos. You gotta keep those.
Right.
I usually take them all down off of my, Christmas card garland, and then I put them away with my Christmas stuff, and then the next year when I pull my Christmas stuff out, I'm like, oh, look, because, all the kids are twice as big.
Bigger,
And,
yeah.
yeah, it's like just fun to look at.
That is fun.
But that's kind of a fun idea. You can make a little scrapbook with them or something. Or I could just do the thing you do. I could just have a little photo album of Christmas cards from every year.
Yeah.
Be like, this was back, and I sound like my grandma. I'm turning into my grandma. Be like, this was back in 1972. That was the year of the meat shortage.
Gosh.
I say that because that's a real story she told me one time.
Oh.
And I don't think it was 1972, but she was telling me about the meat shortage. I was just like, oh, jeez.
You know,
This is getting
also,
wild.
there was 2 people that got me the same card,
Really?
and I didn't punch both cards.
We could have got a different piece.
It really all looked exactly the same.
Oh.
I even tried.
Was it like patterned?
It was this one.
Oh.
And so it was like 4 little like trees that all looked exactly like this. And then at the top of the trees, one said L, one said O, one said V, and one
So you
said
couldn't like get them all anyways?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what?
They'll
I'm just gonna-
both be here in spirit.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know whose it was. I mean, I don't know whose that one is, you know?
Right. Just off of the top of your head.
So I'm like, what else?
They're pretty cute.
Really not too worried about it.
This is a super fun craft.
It
I
is.
like it.
I
And
think
it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
So also we're going to finish because Jessie gave me this really cool set of yard dice.
That I worked really, really hard on. Like for hours, like all night. So
So I was gonna make a card to play Yahtzee, and I wanted to get it done so we could play at my mom's birthday party, which is coming up. So Jessie has the most epic handwriting, as I think you all know. So she's gonna write on it for me, pretty please.
we can definitely do that.
And then,
Let me get all these so I don't flip them off the...
oh yeah, that will be bad. We don't want to lose them all. She has them strategically placed, so.
Yeah, I thought really long and hard about it.
She was mostly like, are these gonna fit on here?
I'm so glad they... I just didn't want a huge picture.
Right. No, you don't
I'm
need
like,
like a
for the-
wall mural.
Yeah, for the rest of my life, I gotta have a freaking 16 by 20 thing of wedding cards.
It might not be bad, like somewhere down the line, if you have a bigger house. But
Right. Right now.
right
my wall-
now, the wall space is like precious.
Yes.
Well, you just have so many windows.
Yeah.
There's just not a lot of empty space.
Well, that's it. You put it in a Ziploc bag and put it inside the wall.
So people can find it later
I'm a
when you're
little-
dead.
Well, unless she can remember it before she moves out.
Oh,
I mean,
that
I
would be.
have space for it. Like,
Yeah.
I could store it somewhere if I don't
But
have
she
one
wants to hang it up. We need it to be visible. Speaking of things being visible, I wanted to let you all know, because I know you're very concerned, that I got my wand rack finished and hanging up
Oh my good lord.
with all my wands on it.
I can't wait to look at it.
I was telling one of the gals I work with that I was going to take a picture and show it to her, because I was like, you're the only person in the world that will even care. So everyone's like, what? You spent how much money on wands?
I finished season 1 of Game of Thrones.
Ooh, how do you feel about it?
I'm just really glad somebody finally died that I cared about. I'm like, good, now I can start like getting into this shit.
Yeah. Season 1 definitely, like, you think that the show's going to be about that person. Should we be trying to not spoiler, or should we just be like,
I
spoiler
think that
alert?
came out in like 2010.
Guess what?
I think at
Ned
the point,
Stark's dead.
Yeah, if people don't know
Um,
that people die, then
So, well, I don't want to spoil alert. I don't want to spoil the rest of the show for you. So I have to watch
well,
what
yeah,
I
don't
say.
spoil the rest.
But I think that first season, you're very much thinking that the show is like about him, and then like it is centered around like his family and what's going on in his life and stuff. Like he seems to be the central character, and then when they just like, oh, there goes your head, it's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean, you just don't really see that coming. What?
this one should go here.
Oh, because you have too many heads.
Yeah.
Bride and groom
Too many
heads.
bride and groom heads.
Right next to each other. Yes, you've gotten to the part where they start killing the people you love, and that is just going to continue to happen. I luckily really picked characters that I really liked that have remained alive somehow. Like my most loved characters have. So
Doesn't Khaleesi last for a while?
she's still ticking.
Well, I thought so.
And my absolute
I'm a
favorite
Khaleesi
character is Tyrion. He's the best.
Oh, the little short guy.
Yes.
Yeah, he is a good guy. He's still alive too. That's nice.
Yes.
Is he still fucking lots of people?
Yes. Maybe. I don't remember. I think he just does that. Brad, did you get a haircut?
I hate you.
Can I borrow some scissors, please?
Oh, goodness. So, Jesse's going to have her craft done. We'll get a picture of it. We also have fall stuff, like, sitting here ready to go. So, that's next.
We'll do fall stuff next week.
It's getting to be that time of year. And I am very excited.
They're just all a little, like, off, you know?
Well, I think the whole thing isn't super straight and
That's
organized, so I don't think it's going to matter.
Okay.
In this
'Kay, I'll believe
grand
you.
scheme.
I
Ooh.
want to kind of keep this nice because I'm not sure if I'm sold on this frame, but
It's very simple. I like it. I was going to say the like background picture in that frame is kind of cute. Like it would actually probably be fine just to leave up.
oh right,
It's, you know, a lot of times
Little
it's like
design.
awkward people.
Yeah.
And then you tell everyone that they're part of your family.
That's my cousin.
It came with a mat.
Really good looking brother. But yeah, that picture's cute.
Yeah, mats are always necessary. Why do I always keep like this? I don't know. Does anybody else do that?
I usually do.
Not at
I like
all.
shove all the parts back inside because I figure it's made to like be that thick. But with all those cards on there, you might be a little thick. I think it's going to look really cute. So,
I always try to make sure to get these frames with like these little twisty
the
things.
swivelly ones instead of the
stupid-
pole where you just rip your fingernails off. That's so great.
Cute.
We're definitely going to need a picture of that. I love it. Brad looks extremely disturbed over there.
Brad's overjoyed.
What kind of interesting news did you just learn, Brad?
Well, I heard my phone go off, and then I check, and there's 14 new messages. Don't. Oh,
Why are you
Is
on your
somebody
phone with
dead?
us?
no, it's part of the Chico Murderinos and
Oh, you got your settings
Ancestry.com and Facebook and
set up funky.
Facebook.
and all
I like,
that
how,
kind
I
of
like
The
the
Facebook.
accentuation on. Accentuation. I'm not sure that's a word.
Accentuation?
accentuation.
Is it?
It's gotta be a word. I mean, you can accentuate something. Hey, Brad, look that up.
Is accentuation
While
a
you're on your
word?
phone, Google accentuation. You know, if it's not a word, the whole point of language is to communicate, and I knew what you meant. So I like it.
That's fun.
That is really fun. Are you going to put it in your room with your vows and stuff?
Yeah.
That's so cute.
My whole room is just going to be overtaken with wedding things. Oh my gosh. And I really like a lot of
Marriage.
my pictures. I don't know how I'm going to like choose ones.
Yes, I'm excited to see your pictures. I saw like you posted a couple, or maybe you posted one and then I saw somebody else who posted one. But
Kinsey
I saw
posted a couple
yeah, I saw a few.
of
and
her and Julian
Yeah.
only. I'm like, you couldn't have posted a picture with your new sister? Rude. No.
it wasn't about you.
Only the boyfriend.
I don't know who you think you are, Jesse, that your wedding was about you.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, it was. They are really cute. Like, they looked really good, and I was excited that you got them.
Yes.
Because we discussed whether or not they were coming.
They were coming.
How long did you end
It
up
was a
waiting?
week late. So he said 6 to 8 weeks, and I got them in 9.
Okay.
A little over 9.
9.5. Well,
So.
and like you said, he's the one who put the restrictions on the thing. He could have said, I'll get him to you in 3 months, and you would have been like, okay.
Right.
I guess I'll get him in 3 months. And then if you got him at 9.5 weeks, you would have been like, score.
Right. And that's what I told my boss. But then she's like, the thing is, if he's that kind of person, he would have waited the full 3 months.
Right.
So she's like, at least he told you 6 to 8 weeks and you got him in 9, as opposed to him telling you 3 months and you got him in 4.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. He might just be a procrastinator. And so, like, if he doesn't have that deadline on him, then he probably didn't start them until 6 weeks or something.
Well, he, like, emailed me, like, at 8 weeks and said, I have your stuff up on my editing roll. And I'm like, did you just start editing this shit?
Oh, yikes. I understand. Editing photos takes a lot of time.
I believe it.
But, and I think I've said this before, if that is your main job,
You better be up for 8 hours.
you need to, and
photos.
especially like if you're your own boss, then you have to like say, okay, these are the hours I'm going to spend editing, and structure your life, and not everybody's good at that.
I can imagine too that you get tired of looking at the same people. Like, I feel like if I were doing it, I'd be working on multiple weddings at one time.
Yeah.
Like, I do, like, some of you and Adam, and then when I started getting sick of looking at you and Adam, I'd, like, move on to, like, a new environment. Like, new set of pictures.
The minutia of it is, like, excruciating because especially with digital, you take so many photos.
Right.
And so, like, I liked when I did film photography, like, you just take the pictures, you print them out, you pick out the good ones, and there you go, you know?
Yeah.
But when you're doing digital, like, you have
So many
5 of
options.
almost the exact same picture, and then you, like, scrutinize, like, well, everyone looks okay in this picture except for that guy has a funny this, and so then you go to the next one. Well, everybody looks, you know, and so then you have to, like, choose, you know, the time you spend even just, like, picking out the ones you're going to edit is atrocious.
One thing that I really appreciated that he did was most of the pictures that he took, he picked, or I don't know if he took them 2 ways or if he cropped them these ways, but, like, each one has, like, a landscape and a portrait.
Yeah.
Which I think is really nice because sometimes, like, you have a frame in a spot and, like, it's up and down.
Yeah.
But you want this picture there.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's kind of nice.
That is nice. Yeah, I try to take things kind of both ways. I think I've just trained myself to do that.
Yeah.
So he probably just takes them both ways so that there are more options.
And I mean, I like to, like, have pictures scrolling through on my desktop, but they've got to be landscape.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wow, this is really cool that I don't have to, like, pick
Going
which
in-
ones to have on here based on which direction they're going.
But I mean, I think naturally most people who photograph humans tend to do more in portrait because the way people are built, you film more of a frame in portrait.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, which is probably why it's called portrait and not landscape. I just got that, you guys.
The world sometimes makes a lot of sense.
Sometimes. But yeah, because otherwise it's like you're cutting only this much of the person and then you have all this excess space.
Yeah.
You know? So I can understand why you end up with more that way, but it is nice for, especially if you're in like a nice setting. There's good scenery.
Okay,
That's
I'm ready.
amazing. Jesse's gonna be such a doll now.
Give me the pen.
And write all the stuff.
Well, before you do, accentuation is not a word.
Bullshit. I call bullshit.
Well, you can call it what you want, but the dictionary does not understand that word.
Doesn't know shit.
I mean,
The
you could do it in
dictionary
Urban
adds-
Dictionary. I mean, you could put
Would
it
the
in there.
dictionary have accentuation? I thought the
It
dictionary
would
just
have
had
accentuate. And then, does it have the
The
little
closest
bit?
thing is extentuation.
No,
It
but
doesn't
you gotta
start
just
with an
look
E.
up accentuate. And
Did
then,
you look up the right? What? How did you spell this?
Brad can't spell.
I don't know how to spell.
It has an A. It starts with an A.
You start with an A.
Dude, I got this. Accentuate. And now I'm just going to look in a dictionary. What
I
are...
looked up extentuate. So
What are the...
I looked up accentuate.
accentuate. Sorry.
I don't know what's happening. There's a couple of different ways they have it. Okay. There is accentuate, accentuates, accentuated, accentuated again, Accentuating.
Still no
I
accentuation.
don't see a shun.
I didn't think it sounded right.
I think it's a word if we want it to be a word. Dude, they put the dumbest shit into the dictionary now. I mean, if YOLO can be in the dictionary, then fucking accentuation can be in the dictionary. It's in my dictionary.
True dat.
It's in my vocabulary.
Okay, what am I doing here?
Okay. Top
it?
corner. Yeah. Accentuation. It's a word. The action of emphasizing something. The accentuation of the Treasury's currency policy. That was a sample sentence.
Oh.
The prominence of a thing relative to the normal. A condition where there is an accentuation of female characteristics.
Ooh.
Now, why is that something relative to normal? Whatever. The manner in which accents are apparent in pronunciation or indicated in writing. Oh, that's a whole nother meaning I didn't even know.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Oh, because he said Facebook instead of Facebook.
You're right. I was thinking, like, accentuating in, like, the, like...
Womanly sense?
No, but, like, the standing out sense.
Oh, yeah.
But that makes sense with what you're actually talking about. Yeah, I think it's, like,
Yeah.
yacht and then Z.
Not little yachty.
Your accentuation is killer.
Your accentuation on the accentuation.
Yeah, look, it's yacht and then Z.
I just wanted to make sure before.
Do you think that this was made to be played on a yacht?
Yes.
It's for
Also with
That's
little
not how
yachty.
that's not how yacht is spelled,
You know,
yacht.
W-A-G-H-T.
right?
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't know.
Maybe the C fell out of it because you're playing it on land, guys.
Oh, gosh.
Oh my god. I think Brad needs to cut that out.
Tab has dad jokes. Do you want to hear some of the very exciting news in my universe?
Tell me it all.
Karen and Georgia from My Favorite Murder have started their own podcasting network, and I'm like, bitch, why can't I be on that?
Yeah.
Right?
Did you message
Because
them?
nobody listens to us?
But they could.
Especially if we start talking about murdery things.
But they could. Also, this last week, they got rid of all of their moderators on their Facebook fan page. And they were like, had an open call for people. And they're like, email Steven. And I got so excited. And I was like, I'm going to do this. And then I was like, Tabitha, you don't have time in life for anything. Like, you needed to dye your hair a month ago. Don't give yourself more work. Even though it could have been an in, man.
You could have been famous. Could have ride that train.
I don't know that I want to be famous. In fact, I'm very sure that I don't want to be famous.
Why not?
Because fame is a lie, man.
Get down with the government, bro.
No, I'm serious. People, like, our culture just celebrates fame so much that we have this, like, myth that if you're famous and you're rich, you're happy. That's not true.
Well, have you ever heard that country song? It says, you know, they say money can't buy everything, but it can buy you a boat.
And you've never seen anyone sat on a boat.
What? What did he say?
He said you've never seen anyone sad on a boat. I'm like, I've been sad on a boat.
Or it's that money can't buy happiness, but it can buy me a boat. And it can buy me a truck to pull it. And it can buy me a Yeti 110 iced down with some silver bullets.
Oh, gosh, he's a rapper.
No, it's a country song.
Oh, God.
Country rapper.
Country rapper. Isn't that what the category is
It's
these
actually
days?
a hilarious song.
Sounds great.
Because
It
it's true.
sounds like a country song.
Money can buy you a boat.
Yes, that is true.
And some Coors Light.
And there are a lot of people who, like, don't have any money, and I think that it could buy you, like, a lot less stress in life and
That's true.
all that kind of stuff. So I agree with that. But, like, I mean, there have been times when I've been had much less than I have now. And there have been times when I've had more than I have now.
Yeah.
And I can't say I was happier at any point because of that.
Well, and it's great. You learn how to spend whatever money you get.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that's why you hear about like all those professional athletes all like going bankrupt.
It's the MC Hammer effect.
Well, because they're just shit at their investments. They're just
That's
like,
true.
I'm going to blow.
They don't invest. They like buy cell phones for their 200 closest
Right?
friends
Yeah.
and put them all on a plan.
That's why now
Insane.
professional like teams hire financial advisors for their teams now.
What am I doing? You know, I could be one of those people.
You totally could. Not accountants, financial advisors. That's me.
You're more
You
of a-
just make sure everybody's like matching up or some shit. I like tell
What?
people what to do with the money. I don't do it, but that's what I learned. Okay?
As an accountant, I do everything
No.
that you people do. Marketing,
Oh,
financial
you
advising.
people?
Wow.
You business people.
No, I was a finance major.
Exactly. I had to take finance classes.
I had to take
But she
accounting
was her
classes.
major.
Yeah, but not really. I mean, accounting class. Like
Y'all,
debits and
I
credits.
literally took.
marketing classes.
So did I.
So did I.
I'm just being facetious.
I win. You lose.
I went to school of
hard knocks.
What am I writing, dog?
Well, I was trying to get them all written out for you, but I can't read what we wrote on this one, so now I have to go back on the Pinterest.
Let me see.
The picture?
Yeah.
It says bonus, and the bonus is if over something, add
Um,
35.
Over 60. or
But
is it
first I do
65?
ones, right? Is that in this first one?
Yeah, well, yeah. 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s.
I can do that.
Brad, find out where the bonus is for us. Then it says top something total.
How many points you have to get the bonus?
All the fun ones. 3 of a kind. 4 of a kind. Just
I feel like
saying mermaids would be sad in a boat.
And
Okay.
the bonus is 63.
Okay, and then if it's over 63, add 35.
If total score is 63 or over, score 35.
That is so nuts. It's like half of the score. It's all about that top. Everybody wants to go for the Yahtzee, but it's all about getting your points in the top.
yep, people forget about it.
We're going to give you guys some Yahtzee advice, okay?
Be patient.
Well,
Wait for the big stuff.
I think someone says you have to get like 3 of
Get-
each category. Then I think that's what gives it to you, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Just
obviously you can go
trust
over.
someone.
I
You're
trust
a
everyone.
transponster. You can do the math. Right?
yeah, if you learned
3
anything in your
plus
accounting and
6
finance
plus
classes.
9 plus 12 plus 15 plus 18 is what?
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention at all. I was having a stroke from Jesse's comment.
I think I missed it.
I said, if you learned anything from your accounting and finance classes, I hope it was how to count. I know, I didn't learn how to count in mine. Because they gave us calculators.
Right? Okay.
That's honestly why I liked, like, harder maths so much more. Because they stopped caring about if you can add 2
Right.
plus 2.
It was like, do you understand the principles?
Right.
Yeah, which is
Like-
way more interesting.
Yeah, put that in your calculator, fine. But you need to know
Mhm.
how to, like, do these complicated things.
Right. I never really liked math that much.
Freaking love
I mean, it was fine. I always did fine in math, but
stats is my favorite.
I was always an English nerd.
Oh my gosh, my favorite thing. So, Blake's best friend Wayne was taking a class this summer, and he was taking stats, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's my favorite math class." I'm like getting all excited about it, and he's like, "Why is it your favorite?" You know, I'm like, "It just explains like life. Like you can take anything in life and explain it using stats." And he's like, "Okay," you know. And then like when he finished, he's like, "Jesse, you were so right." He's like, "It's awesome." And I'm like, You're the best. It's like, we are
Blake's
so
over in the
friends.
corner going, what the hell are you guys talking about?
Like, yeah, Thomas Jefferson was president this year. Because that's what Blake cares about, is history.
Ooh, I do like history. I like knowing the stories of history, though. I don't want to quote dates and
Blake
stuff.
can remember any date.
See, I just do not care about that. I just want to know what happened. For instance, the other night, Adam and I are watching the Giants game. There's a commercial on for Fanta. And in the commercial,
Wanna Fanta, don't you wanna? I miss those.
it's very multicultural.
Yeah, they always
Yeah.
had like a white chick, a Mexican chick,
Everybody has on like a different color
Were
of
they
clothes.
racist at the same time, though? Was there a Mexican chick for the grape one? Or
Well,
a black chick for the grape one?
So in the
Oh, we're getting
commercial,
there.
everyone has on the same, like a color of clothing, and they're holding that color of soda.
Right.
Yes. The African American woman is wearing purple and holding the grape Fanta.
Yeah, not good.
And then they all look at each other and like trade them off, and then it says, mix it up.
Is the Mexican one holding the orange one?
I think so.
Oh,
Is there an Asian, or are they wearing the yellow one? 'Cause
I think so. So, okay.
it's like the Power Rangers all over again.
Yeah, it just seems like it's a little questionable.
Oh.
And but I'm like, they're trying so hard to be like multicultural and like have all these different people represented and all this stuff, and look at all the colors. And then I turned to Adam and I'm like, all this is just a mass conspiracy to distract you from the fact that they were the official fucking soda of the Nazis. Did y'all know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah. So during World War II, when everything
They changed their name or something.
right, everything was going down, there were all these sanctions and stuff, and they couldn't get like Coca-Cola, and so they came up with their own soda, i.e., Fanta.
Wow.
So, see, I love that kind of stuff. I want the history behind it. I don't care what year it was.
I can't even like the thing is like all the history I learned in school, I can't even like come up with like a roundabout year, right? Like of course I know 1776, right? That's when America was like born or whatever.
What year did Columbus discover America?
No fucking idea.
Oh, that's because he didn't discover America. You
thank
don't
you.
remember that little rhyme? 1492. Columbus sailed the ocean blue.
I remember that rhyme. I would
And
never
raped and pillaged and gave people diseases. Sorry.
those poor Native Americans.
Sorry, I finished the rhyme. I wanted to know how it ends.
You know, I mean, granted, I'm not saying this is right, but they're making lots of money these days.
You say they as if they're still, well, you know, around.
There are
Native Americans?
some
Yeah.
tribes that are making money, but that whole thing is very political.
Yeah.
And like, it's not helping the average people. Or like, what about all the indigenous people that grew up on reservations?
Right.
Like, I mean, just the whole thing, the conditions, and I mean, you're literally being forced to live in a place like,
Yeah.
it's whack. There's nothing you can do that's like, well, it's fine now. I mean, I know that's what the government's trying to do.
Well, and I mean, like even foster care. If a Native American kid gets into foster care, there's like this whole program. They like have to go back to like
To
their
place indigenous
reservation
kids.
first.
Yeah, because did you ever hear about the 60s sweep
Oh.
where they scooped up all kinds of, or they call it the 60s scoop. They scooped up all kinds of indigenous kids from, and it happened a lot in Canada, and placed them in white homes so that they could like destroy their culture.
Oh my
They
jeez.
wanted people to become integrated. That was in air quotes for all of you. And so they literally took them away from their families, wouldn't adopt them back into like relatives, their hometown, anything. They'd ship them to the United States, different places, different countries, like, and to like whitewash them.
Wow.
So there's like a good reason that is in effect.
That's very sad.
It's awful. I mean, the world sucks.
That's very sad.
But I mean, it's not like we can go back and fix it,
I was
know?
gonna say, that's all in history.
Well, and it's like
I like history.
it's like people. I had roommates that would like. I swear they were like blaming me for racism.
Yeah.
And like for people getting lynched. I'm like, I'm sorry about my ancestors, but I cannot do anything about that.
And I literally had nothing to do with it. And I think that there is a fine line between being like, well, this isn't my problem, and also a fine, like, people shouldn't be blaming you either, you know? But I think there's something to be said for, like, do we have to fix all, like...
At what point do we say, hey, I think we're pretty much even, everyone who was back then is dead now?
But we're not even.
We're not even.
It's
Well,
definitely
but
not
then
even.
who are you going to blame?
Well, so the thing is we have a responsibility not to change the past, but to tear down the infrastructure that those people built.
Correct.
Like, not continue to benefit from it.
Well, I'm saying once they're all dead.
We're getting crazy here, guys.
Well, but they
Or
aren't. I mean,
bonus.
yes,
Total.
all the people who were enslaved are currently dead, but the repercussions of that are still...
You give it 40 years. Everyone who is even feeling most of those.
I don't know.
What's your plan here?
It's just ingrained.
What am I
Interesting. So the next one says, bonus after the sixes. We wrote different things than what's on the actual. So here,
Okay,
you can
well-
see the picture. The next one says bonus.
And then there's something under it, right?
If over 63, add 35. And then... If over 63, add 35. You could use like more than signs, although the people are pretty stupid.
Over 63.
Yeah.
Then what?
Add 35.
Sorry.
It's with Will Wheaton, the actor. He does tabletop games.
Will Wheaton is.
Will Wheaton, he's like all over Big Bang Theory.
He is.
That's because he's a super nerd. He is famous from Star Trek.
Which one?
Okay.
The next
I'm not going to get back in
Yeah,
there.
well, there you go. You got it.
I don't have the magic thumb.
I have the magic thumb.
I'm the magic man.
Yeah, he's pretty funny. I like him.
Top.
He
I
is-
wrote top.
Yeah. Like maybe top total?
Yeah, that
But
makes way more sense.
But there's a whole bunch of words underneath there. I mean, that section is supposed to be the total of the upper section.
The last word I put says total, I think.
Top section total. I don't know. That's fine.
What do you want it to say?
I can say that. Top section total. What do you think it says? I couldn't read it in the picture.
What is like... Show me the real Yahtzee board again.
It says total of upper section.
Then let's put that.
Okay.
Don't you think?
That sounds great.
Yeah, it does. Total of upper section.
What does it say? You guys, I can't write and like store information in my head all one time. Does anybody else have that problem?
Total
No.
of... Well, it says upper, but you could say total, make a tiny of, top section.
You can take, and mine doesn't respond to fingers. You can just go ahead and.
Ooh.
It doesn't care who you are.
Brad has a cool old phone.
5S.
When...
Okay, yours still has... Doesn't that have a thumb thing?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
And I don't have
It's just the home button.
I don't have a pass lock on mine either.
I
Just
didn't
asking for it. He has so many dick pics on there.
I
and
didn't
he's
used to, but yeah, I'm like, who the
he's
fuck?
just hoping someone's gonna go through his phone.
First thing it says, give this guy a call, and it's
Okay,
got my
then
phone
what?
number on it.
Next section is gonna be all your of a kinds.
Okay. 3 of a
etc.
kind.
Yeah, I have them written there. Well, they're right there.
Oh,
3 of a
shoot.
kind.
Can you open
4
this?
of a
I want to
kind.
see how I did it before.
You wrote the numbers, which was really cute. And then Full House, you drew a house.
Oh my gosh, I did.
So cute.
I'm just the best.
You're adorbs. Okay, so Will Wheaton has a game show?
Tabletop game show.
What does that mean?
Tabletop games are basically board games.
Why doesn't he just say board games?
Because they're not all board games. Some of them are card games. Some of them are like X-Wing, and some of them are dice games.
Does he play Cones of Dunshire?
Play what?
Cones of Dunshire.
I'm sure he's played it all. I haven't seen an episode with that yet.
I want to play Cones of Dunshire.
Do you have the game?
No.
Oh.
It's the game that Adam Scott made up on Parks and Rec.
Oh my god.
I don't think he plays that game.
But I think somebody really did make a real game of it. Like, I think you can actually get it. It's pretty epic.
I could never get into Parks and Rec. I tried so hard.
I've tried a couple
I
times.
watched it all for sure, but that was more because Adam really enjoyed it. So I just watched him with him.
It seems like a total Adam show.
Yeah. He's pretty chill.
Someone made a
Full house. Yeah.
someone made a card game from The Big Bang Theory. They're the one that they were playing. I can't remember what it was called.
Oh, well, you can play rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock.
Right, but it wasn't that. But it was an actual card game that they were pretending to play, and apparently it wasn't a game until someone's like, "Yeah, we're making this a game," and
Oh, that's cool.
made it into an actual game.
I like it. I feel like the board game market, I feel like you could really do something with that. Somebody just came up with Cards Against Humanity, you guys.
Oh yeah.
You know who's going to make the most epic board game? My son.
Oh my gosh, he is just the funniest little
Which
man.
one?
Jackson. He has got something going on. You know how many? He's already invented more games than I could name, and he'll sit there and explain the rules to you and make you play with him. And
You
there's
know who he might turn into? Lily's dad on How I Met Your Mother.
Mitchell,
No,
Cam,
that is Modern Family.
How I Met Your Mother.
That's the
Lily,
one with Barney, Lily, Marshall.
Lily's dad is a
And-
game board. I mean, I don't think Jackson's going to abandon his children,
Yeah, I was gonna say he's played by that creepy dude.
Yeah.
but he's a board game maker, and he gets
That's-
really super stoked, and he's
that's right.
all about it, all about it
Yeah,
Mhm.
for significant amounts of
I
time.
remember that now.
And I'm I think Jackson would make a game and be all about it.
Oh, yeah. He's all about the games he's already made. Dude, you talk to him. He's got a large head already. Can't fit through the doorways. Because he's well, that's a language I invented when I was in 2nd grade.
Man alive.
I
I want to look at what I did
You're like,
before.
sure, kid. Now, how many gray whales is that?
he
blue
he
whales.
legit, they measure things by blue whales because it's the largest mammal.
Well, that's right. I remember you saying that.
No, he legitimately made up a language when he was in 2nd grade. And he has tons of his friends, they all speak it.
What?
Yeah, and when we were at one of their baseball games, they were yelling something, and I said something later on about oh yeah, I heard you guys yelling "Let's go" in Rixel, and he's like, how do you know how to speak Rixel? I'm like, I've been listening to you speak it for years.
You're like, I live with the kid.
Yeah,
I hear Rixel all the time. Dude, he's awesome. He seriously is just
he's got some stuff in his brain. I hope he uses it for good. I
Nope.
seriously,
I want pure evil.
I think he's gonna be a hacker. But
that'd be awesome.
I'm trying to get him to be you can be a hacker, but you can be a hacker that works for the government or works for big companies and tests.
Tell him he can hack the hackers.
Except for the problem is they typically use people that have done hacking for bad.
Well, yeah. So the thing is I think you can.
Hackonomina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that yes, they end up using people who, because they've learned to do it so well, they're
Yeah.
like, oh, we're gonna recruit you. But
They're like, we'll get you out of jail a few years early if you help us out.
right? Yeah, he already knows how to do so many things on he can.
Okay, do I have 3 things left?
You have 2 things left.
Oh, you're not doing this bottom one?
I wasn't planning on it, so what did we end up with?
So we've got Yahtzee, Chance, and then I can't, well, there's grand total at the bottom, but I can't tell what the middle one is.
I think it's
It's,
the
total
total
of
of the
lower
bottom
section.
section or lower section. And then grand total.
If you look at mine, you can clearly see.
Would you shut? No, because this says total of lower section, total of upper section,
Yeah, but
grand
why
total.
redo it? Because
There's also a Yahtzee bonus.
oh, we decided that if you
You're-
get more than one Yahtzee, you're gonna just Calcium. Are y'all because it's dry
Okay.
erase? You're just gonna add them.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So total of
How many points is Yahtzee? 50?
Yeah.
We should put that somewhere.
And
like plus 50.
and
oh
you
yeah,
get
we
another
don't have
Yahtzee.
any
It's
of the
100.
scores.
Well,
do
these
we?
are all based on what you get on the dice.
But Yahtzee.
But
But
small
like
straight.
these are like add total of all the dice. Would I remember that? And like full house is 25. This is 30.
So I think, yeah, maybe like somewhere around them, just put like plus and the number.
Okay.
Does it show it on there?
Like plus 25.
Hmm.
Plus 30. What's a large straight worth?
40.
40 points. Shit.
Well, that's all the dice.
No. Oh, yeah.
It's
was
not
like,
all
no,
the numbers. It's all the
dice are Yahtzee, Brad. Nope. Those are in a straight, not all the same number.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm very smart.
You've been drinking. You're drunk, aren't you?
I'm kind of drunk.
I mean, these things are only 8%. But I mean that's like an IPA, right?
Yeah. I actually came in here with the one from the fridge, the rosé, the Simply Wines.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at the can. I'm like, oh my gosh, my hands are so huge. I'm holding this can. It's so small. And I look at your guys' can. I'm like, that's way different. This isn't
Oh,
the
you
same.
went and got one, and then
Yeah,
you
I
were
was
like,
like-
where the hell are the peach ones?
Yeah, I'm like, this isn't the right one.
Yes, the rosés are smaller, but I think that's because they're higher alcohol content.
I don't know. I'm feeling pretty good in the
Right?
neighborhood. Have you guys seen that fucking Rogers show? Would you be my
Mr.
neighbor?
Rogers?
I used to watch that.
I love Mr. Rogers.
No, not the show. The movie. There's like a movie.
Oh,
that came
yeah, I
out.
haven't
Are you
watched
thinking
it.
of the documentary?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like in the movie theaters.
I wanted to go see that, but they were sold out.
And then grand total, right?
Yes. I love Mr. Rogers. I've always loved Mr. Rogers. I'm a Mr. Rogers stan. And like in recent years, I feel like everybody's like all of a sudden like gotten on the Mr. Rogers train. And that's a little pun because remember the train.
The train, yeah, I got it.
So good.
But everybody all of a sudden's like, Mr. Rogers is the best. And I'm like, bitch,
He's
I
always
know.
been the best.
So when I was in 7th grade for like our typing class or something, we had to write like a letter to like someone we like admired or whatever. And so like, everybody wrote letters to like
President and shit.
well, not even like sports, like athletes or like I was going to say sports stars.
Sports bars.
Or like musicians and stuff. And I was like, I've never been a person who's been like totally like fangirled out over anything. Like when I was in school and everybody had like posters of like the
Lisa
Backstreet
Frank?
Boys and NSYNC and stuff. I was like, dude, I'm not putting some rando's face on my wall.
I did.
I just never could get down with that. So I didn't have anybody that I was like, ooh, this is my favorite. And I was like, you know who I'm going to write a letter to? I'm going to write a letter to Mr. Rogers because he's the fucking best. He got me through some hard times as a kid. He was always super chill, respectful of everyone. And then recently I've seen like so many people talking about him. And then, yeah, they're making movies and little clips and stuff of like stuff he did during like, poignant times in our history, like when during like segregation when he had his mailman was African American and he came in and they like soaked their feet in the same tub together when they were kicking African Americans out of pools across the country,
Right.
stuff like that where it's like he really was like a genuinely good dude. He was just trying to make the world a better place.
I'm sure if he lived in this time, there would be some controversy
There
that
would be
would come
some
up.
scandal because you can't get away from camera phones and the Twitter,
The Twitter.
the Facebook. This is gonna be
Great
so great.
accentuation.
I'm very excited. This is gonna be so great. We're gonna
Fun.
play the games. Y'all are gonna be at the birthday party.
I will. Hanging out with all the single ladies that are there.
which is like
Both of
nobody
them?
under 50.
Just like my wedding.
Whoop whoop.
That's what I'm saying.
I was. Here, you can have.
I
it
was
back.
slightly concerned that my baby cousin was coming, and I told Brad last night at trivia that I would choke him the fuck out if he got anywhere near my baby cousin.
And she said her baby cousin, and I'm thinking like a legit baby, and I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you, Tabitha?
She's like,
Oh, is she the cute one?
she's fucking gorgeous.
Dude, she's beautiful.
She's amazingly beautiful,
And how old?
and she's super sweet and super fun, and I
She's
will
in her 20s.
cut your testicles off, Brad. Also, I don't think she's gonna make it.
Trish
She's
is so funny.
definitely old enough to go to a bar, but that does not mean that she's old enough for you to look at.
What?
Trish was like, "You're the only one at work that I ever socialize with outside of work."
Oh, you're
I was like,
special.
"Look, yeah. Every
Um,
once in a while, she does with Corny too.
One of the gals I work with and I went to Michael's real quick after work today
Wow.
because she is one of the only other people that I know that lives in close vicinity with me that is so excited about Halloween. So I was like wanting to go to Michael's and look at all the Halloween stuff, and like if I have to drag the kids along, it's going to be miserable, and Adam just doesn't care. And I'm like, nobody else is this excited about Halloween. And then we were talking about Halloween the other day, and I was like, oh, do you want to go to Michael's with me? Because I want to walk up and down the Halloween aisles and like touch every single thing. It was amazing. So many eyeball things this year.
Really?
Love it.
Eyeball would be a great O.
Ooh, that would be really good. If you're not into the skull, you could do an eyeball. Are these little pails that I got for our upcoming craft not the cutest freaking thing ever? Adorable. They look
Adorable.
like, you know,
Is that better, Brad?
Jack and Jill went up the hill
What? What's better?
to fetch a pail of water.
Jack fell down and broke his crown.
I mean, do whatever you want.
I'm gonna put them on my mantle.
I was thinking of getting a shelf and hanging them above my door.
How would you hang the little things, though? Oh, hang the shelf.
Hang the shelf above my door and set them on the shelf.
I totally get it. Dude, I baked a cake already today after work.
What?
I'm fucking killing it.
Why did you make a cake?
Because tomorrow, we're having a cultural luncheon.
Oh, I think we talked about this a little bit. Not on the podcast, just you and I.
And everybody went to this.
It went from, like, do something ancestral to, like, do something that's, like, a family tradition.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, not everybody has, like...
You're like, I'm super white and I'm a mutt. So, what do you want me to make? PB&J.
Like,
Boom,
I
done.
literally don't
Mac
have...
and cheese.
There's nothing in my life that everybody's like, this is great-great-grandmother's recipe passed down from whatever, some special, like, Norwegian thing. I don't have that shit.
Yeah. I have also not a lot of that shit. I have, like, stuff that was like this, my grandma made this kind of thing.
Right.
But
yeah. I mean,
really
and-
nothing beyond that.
yeah, so I'm bringing a cake that, like, was at every single one of our family functions. And it's, like, my favorite cake in all the world.
Right.
And my grandma made.
See?
And the whole
That
reason
works.
she made it is because my crazy aunt, I call her my crazy aunt,
That's fine. Everybody's got one.
my regular aunt, who was vegan at the time, my grandma wanted to still make her a cake that she could eat.
Right.
And so this cake
They can't have eggs.
Right. So
Yeah.
this cake is wacky cake. And it's wacky because there's no eggs and there's vinegar in it.
Which is
kinda
kind of wild. Yeah.
So it's wacky.
So,
But it's delicious.
I've had the wacky cake.
I can't figure out how to make it.
Really?
Dude, I've made it before. Last 4th of July, whatever I did
Was
was
this one
fine.
that also has soda in it?
No.
Okay.
Last 4th of July, I did it fine. But I don't know if I did it off of my recipe card. I think my grandma messed up the recipe when she wrote it for me.
Oh.
And so I think I need to compare mine to hers at home because like when I pour it in the like it
Or even to your mom's.
yeah, because when I like pour it in the pan, it's like really runny. And then like the last time that it was not right, everybody kept saying it's so good. I'm like, this isn't it.
Right.
Like, I don't fucking care if you still like it. Like,
This isn't the thing I was trying to make.
Isn't my cake.
Which
I didn't
is
even finish.
exactly how I felt about the biscuits and gravy I made you guys. I was like, these are not my normal biscuits and gravy.
They were good.
But they're not as good as they could be.
But yeah, so I think something's wrong. So, I mean, it bakes up and it looks like a cake. It was just like this. It was a different texture than normal. So I'm thinking and last time I made it, I did apple cider vinegar because I didn't have any regular vinegar.
Yeah.
And I like mixed the dry and wet ingredient. Like I mixed the cake in a mixer.
Oh, yeah. Usually, isn't it just kind of dumped?
Well, yeah. So this time I just mixed it by hand. So
I still also might be thinking of the soda cake that you just dump together.
yeah, so we'll see. I'm going to try it tomorrow. My mom's so funny because I called her and I'm like, I think Grandma wrote this like wrong for me, which is totally possible.
It's not a conspiracy because she's like, nobody can make the cake as good as I can.
No,
I'm going to give everybody a slightly off recipe.
No, because we like made it together a couple times. It's just been like
A long
years since
time.
I did that with her. And
I wouldn't accuse your grandma of being that devious.
I don't. Well, and also, like, it wasn't even her cake, right? She,
Right.
like, got it. She's like,
But
Leslie can't eat
have you
eggs, so.
ever had somebody that was like that? Like, crazy about recipes?
Yeah.
And, like, wouldn't tell you secret stuff?
Yeah.
It's like, what kind of weird power trip do you need
Right.
that you, like, don't want other people to have joy?
Right. Well, and I think it
So
was.
strange.
It totally made sense, like, when. So, Trisha's corn thing.
Mm-hmm.
She said that she asked the lady for the recipe, and her only stipulation was, like, I'll give it to you, but you can't bring it to this event. Like, I bring it to this event every year.
Oh, yeah. Like, don't bring it to the 4th of July barbecue. I bring
Right.
it to the 4th of July barbecue, and that'll just be awkward.
Right. So,
Or
that totally makes
more
sense.
corn thing for everybody.
Right.
When it's so good.
Yeah, but imagine you gave away your super secret recipe. Come to find out, see the person that you gave it to has a stand open just selling your recipe, or what it
You
never
do
made.
you.
Well,
You can make money off that. Good for you.
Yeah, but I'd be
Nobody
super
got time
pissed.
for that. No. It's all about I'm living life via Kristen Bell's increased joy, decreased suffering.
Yeah.
That makes them happy and they're doing good in life. Good for them.
yeah, but what if that doesn't make you happy?
Well, it's not all about you. It's about like the whole. Brad
Okay.
looks horrified by that.
Brad only wants Brad to be happy.
I distinctly remember someone yesterday who, when we were talking about, oh, well, I don't think she likes us anymore. I don't give a fuck is what the answer was.
And I don't.
But she cares about other people's happiness.
Yeah, I legit do not care. If somebody doesn't like me, I have gotten over my own ego enough at this point in my life to be like, some people aren't going to like me. I am not everybody's cup of tea. That is fine. There are also people I don't want to be around.
People at work, they don't like me more and more lately because
What
I have
else?
more and more power.
Right.
Which is still such little amounts of power.
But, man, that can be all it takes. I literally don't care if the person in question gives a fuck.
Yeah, I'm getting to the point at work where I'm like, I'm sorry that I'm trying to make sure you're doing your job.
No, don't be sorry.
You cannot be mad at me for that.
They can be, but that's not justified. And also, you don't have to be sorry.
I mean, yeah, I'm really not.
You should just tell them off with
Yeah.
their heads.
Quit this. You have to like
I'm
self.
gonna get one of those big 4-foot swords that they cut off Ned Stark's head with. How that man even picked that sword up, I don't know.
Was it the mountain?
No.
No, it was Alien Payne.
I don't think it was any significant character.
Well,
It was just the head chopper at that time.
He was a significant character in the books because he doled out the justice for the king and then the queen. And yeah, I remember his name because I'm black. So I don't see how not giving a fuck if somebody likes me makes them suffer. If they don't like me and they don't want to be around me and I don't care.
Not necessarily you, but it was someone brought their happiness down.
Oh, well, I'm not saying
And
that's
then-
okay. Sometimes my dad can be a real asshole.
I was going to make names.
Oh, yeah,
but
so
all
how
right.
did things go with the trivia lady this week? Because
was
last week y'all
Fine.
had a little... Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Little wink, wink.
It was dumb, but I don't have time to be upset about it.
And it's a game.
Yep.
I give less shits than apparently Dan does. Dan's all heated about
He
it.
gets very, and I understand this because I have a tendency to do the same thing. Like right is right and wrong is wrong.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's the principle of the thing.
Yeah.
And then I'm also like, I don't have to go to trivia, so
I just, like, if it's a fact, like, that's what I hate. It's like,
Yes,
this is a
there are
fact.
times
There is
where-
literally here, I can Google it and show you this. You got it wrong. Like, but it's like, oh, it's what I put. I'm like, no, because you could obviously put gibberish in
right.
there.
So her rules are that whatever she writes is what gets points. And so it's less trivia at this point than it is how well can you read this person's mind,
Right.
which is kind of crazy.
Well, I can imagine. I mean, every week is a lot, and especially at this point when you've got groups that have been playing for years.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna lose people if you cycle through the same trivia shit.
Oh yeah.
So it's got to be. I mean, you're having to come up with. So sure, it's not all 52 weeks.
Also, though, like that is part of her job, and she gets paid to do it.
And all you got to do is
So-
think of 24 questions.
It's not like I understand what you're saying, and definitely there is a challenge to it. But I mean, there are plenty of things that I do and I get paid to do that are not like the most enjoyable things.
Well, and it would help if they didn't do, like, some of them are so broad. Like,
Yes, and then
Oceans.
some
Like,
are
she'll do- yeah, she'll
so
do, like,
specific.
science. I'm like,
Well, we did
you're
that
going to
one-
ask me about science?
1 week it was anatomy, and then there was like a chemistry question smack dab in the middle of it. I'm like, how is this anatomy?
Right.
Mhm.
Well, yeah, she did, like, geography one day, too, and it
Yeah.
was, like, there was some questions. I'm like, this is not geography.
Yeah.
But if they also
I
go
mean, whatever.
too far the other way, the geology,
Oh.
where it's like, hey, I'm going to take this straight from a geology person's test that's what they're studying
Like
for.
a geology course
Yeah.
final is what they used for the questions, and everyone was just sitting there going, huh? What? Like, that's way too specific?
Right.
I'm sure that, I mean, it's hard to find, like, that sweet in-between spot.
But I mean, just go like the 6th page on Google after you type in like whatever the category is, trivia questions.
I'm just thinking, having, like, California as a topic is pretty broad, but also you don't have to, like, study every state,
Yeah.
So, I mean, you can assume, like, oh, they're going to ask things about, like, California. Like,
Trees.
How-
Flags.
yeah, how long has it been a state? What year was, that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. But sometimes that's not the case.
Well,
It
and
gets kinda
then
crazy.
the other issue, too, is when you get too specific. So, like, Back to the Future trivia night.
Yes.
If I didn't watch Back to the Future, why in the actual hell would I want to be at that trivia
Yeah,
night?
and so that's what
Right.
happens is they get really specific like that, and then a bunch of people don't show up.
Yeah.
Like, people who usually come and usually play, and then people who never come and are never going to come back show up. Like, last night was musicals.
Mhm.
And there were people, like, on teams, we'd never seen any of them before, singing the whole song. Somebody got up and danced
Wow.
a few
Mhm.
times. So I'm like, obviously these people are here because it's this, and like that's what they're there for, and they're probably, maybe they'll come again, and they'll be like, never mind.
Right.
But, which, I mean, it's a marketing thing. Of course, they want new people to come in.
Right.
But I'm also like, don't totally, alienate the people who always come out of it. I don't know. I just told myself, like, this isn't a required thing in life.
Right.
So go if you're having fun. And if it's not fun, don't go. But also don't make it not fun. Like,
Right.
There's no reason to get too stressed out about it. There are definitely times when it's frustrating. Because
well, and I never had like a bad time.
Yeah.
I just always felt so like that's just trivia is not my thing.
Yeah.
And so
it's not really my thing either.
I was just kind of like there to hang out, which is fine too. Like,
but it also gets to be taxing when you have like, this is your set time to hang out.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was like, I need less of this in my life, and because trivia is not my thing, bye.
That can be not my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, and then I kind of feel bad because that like Blake, I think really likes that. Like, he's more of a trivia, not like Adam status, but he's more of a trivia guy than I am.
I don't know. Blake had a lot of answers, especially when it came to music stuff. We were always like, oh, shit.
And so, sometimes he's like, maybe we should go. I'm like, you are very free to go on Wednesday nights without me.
He's just scared of us.
I don't know what it is. But I think also, too, he doesn't want to have something to do.
Yeah. It gets to be much.
Well, he can come and hang out with us. I mean, it's just the 5 of us usually, for the most part.
That's very true.
I'll let him know to text y'all if he's feeling it. See, also,
Brad and
Wednesday
Tabitha's
night is like
family.
the one night of the week I don't have anything going on.
Right.
So it's like the one night, that Blake and I actually get
and then
to, like,
he gets
do
up
something.
so early, so
Yeah.
it's hard to go do things late in the evening. Yeah. The only constant in life is that there's always change.
Yep.
And death.
They always say death and taxes, but you can get out of paying taxes.
Lots of
People do.
it.
It's called tax evasion. And you're being taxed one way or
The
another.
only
Sales
certainty
tax.
in life is change
Move
and
to Oregon.
death.
And don't purchase land.
How's that?
Then payroll tax.
Well,
Work under the table.
sell stuff in Oregon. You don't have to pay sales tax.
We went through that, but then you're going to have to be paying still taxes
Where?
as an
Here.
employer if you have employees.
No, you just work under the table.
Be secret. Secret squirrel.
Okay.
Shh, Brad, quiet.
Just sell crafts on the street.
At that point, why don't you just start
Oregonians-
selling crack on the
Dude.
street?
Oregonians love that hippie shit.
Sell hacky sacks on the street, man.
Yeah, but if the cops find out,
Fill the hacky sacks full of weed. Make them super expensive, custom. You could start a real good drug smuggling situation. Just saying. Also, I think
They won't smell at all.
weed's super legal in Oregon.
yeah,
so
I was about to say, I don't know
think-
why that's. I'm like, weed? Is that what we're gonna go with? You should have gone with like heroin or something.
Ew.
It might bounce a little better,
That
too.
seems too much.
It's like more
Heroin.
powdery. We can make stress balls.
Can you imagine the person that kicks that too hard? Oh God.
I feel great. What do you guys want to do?
Does
Wait,
heroin
is
make
it-
you feel great?
No, I think heroin is
Opiate.
depressant.
Yeah.
So yeah, you would just be like, man, my hacky sack broke.
I'm gonna go sleep for days.
Fuck.
That's one of those drugs where I'm like,
Why? Why?
Fun fact,
I mean, technically, alcohol's a depressant.
they're
I
like,
get lit on alcohol.
oh God.
A little too
To a
lit.
point.
Yeah.
That's why I'm 3 drink Jess.
I used to like take these like energy shots just so I can get like that super big peak and then just crash. And I
Cocaine.
love the crash going down. Just like, oh yeah, I could just sit here
Did
and
you
do
take
nothing.
them by snorting them up your nose?
No, an energy drink.
You said energy shot. I don't know what it was a shot of.
It's not like a needle, a hypertonic. No. It's like those little in a bottle.
I
like
gotta go
5
take
shots.
a 5-hour energy.
I
But
found
you-
this really funny photo on the internet that I sent to Blake and Matt and Heather.
Mhm.
And it says, listen,
It's a good start.
this is totally me. Drunk me and sober me are not the same person. So if drunk me said or did something, you gotta take it up with drunk me. Don't come at sober me because we weren't there. We don't know what happened.
We literally just had a conversation like a couple weeks ago about something drunk Jesse told me. You're like, I think I'm good.
Like,
oh, goodness. That's good. We're two different people. Talk to that bitch. That's like my favorite thing on Kimmy Schmidt is when Tina Fey's on there as her therapist.
Right.
And she's like, Andrea by day. And then
Yeah.
she's like, that bitch's name is Andrea. She's from Queens. Who's she trying to fool? She's legit two people. It's the best thing ever.
yeah, I was telling somebody that I had like just met the other day because she's like talking about we were going to a wedding and she was like talking about getting super drunk, you know, and I'm like, I'm gonna try to like take it easy. Like I've been to like ruin some weddings, you know, like, and she's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I get drunk. And I'm just like, not like a lovely person. She's like, you seem so nice, you know, and I'm like, yeah.
Like, I am nice.
I am.
Drunk Jessie. Drunk Jessie needs another name. We need to call her something else.
Yeah.
Jessica.
Well, and like that Chico Heat girl, the waitress.
Yes.
I had like had 2 wine margaritas. She like came around. She's like, "You guys need another drink?" You know, and I was like,
No.
"You don't want me to have another drink." She's like, "Oh, you get wild," and I was like, "No, I get me."
It's going to get scary up in here. I'm going to go borrow one of those players' bats. People are getting crazy in those stands already. Those
Holy
playoff games got a
Jolly.
little tiny bit wild. I was like, ooh.
We won though.
We did, and it was great. It was a fabulous way to cap off the season. I'm glad we won because I was like right in the parking lot. It was starting to get kind of crazy. People were not happy with that ump.
No.
Should I tell the world the fabulous story about how ditzy I am? So we're walking out of the Chico Heat game one night.
Oh yeah.
And I like look over and I look at Adam and I'm like, dude, who gets a tour bus and comes to the Heat games all the time? Like,
Oh my gosh.
I was picturing like the caravan of people like that go to like the casino or whatever, and like I'm like, woohoo, Chico Heat game. And as soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like, oh, that's the other team.
Oh my gosh.
But I literally said it, and then I was like, oh, wait, I get it.
That's why you should just be like, I'm going to walk home, Adam. I'm sorry.
Adam's so sweet. He just looked at me and was like, okay. Didn't say anything. If that had
Blake would have like put
tore me to
on blast.
shreds. Yeah. Well, no, I know. I'm like, the tables had been turned. If Adam would have said something like that, I would have
Oh,
tore
you
him
would
to
have given a
shreds.
shit forever.
I was just like, oh, I am so smart. Usually when people say dumb stuff to me, I usually just say, you're so pretty.
My favorite thing too is that was at the end of the season. So like, you know, Tab was every time she walked down that parking
Oh,
lot.
I legit, like 15 games.
Who
Was
the
like,
frick? Who the frick? Who
tour
the frick?
bus is here again. Like, where are all these people sitting?
And then it just took her saying it out loud.
Yeah.
Didn't take the 20 times in her head to figure it out.
Sometimes that's what it is. Like, you have to, like, be saying it, and then your
Yeah.
brain goes, hey, stupid, by the way. That was an epic moment. I'm very proud of myself. At least I caught it, and I didn't just keep going about my way. I mean, I'm not like Jessica Simpson smart. Like, where she thought
she's an interesting
tuna
human.
was chicken.
Yeah.
That's only a reference that a certain age group is going to know.
Goodbye.
All right, people, we'll be back. In the meantime, drink up.
You got craft to do.
Bye.